Thank you very much for coming and talking to me.
Thank you for having us.
You did an absolute amazing set earlier. I thought it was brilliant. And I'd only heard a few bits beforehand, like on
What had you heard?
Spotify. Well, I got your album.
Oh, you did.
So
Did you
the
get
old one.
Okay, the first one or
Yeah,
the
first
EP?
one.
Yeah.
So I was sort of like, oh, okay, these are good. I like this.
I'm glad you dig it.
And but it's always seeing a band live where you actually feel like you can connect with them, isn't it? It's like, if they're good on Spotify, are they good live?
Yeah,
sort of
they're not mutually exclusive, are
they?
they?
I know. Sometimes I like the recording, and then sometimes I like the live version better. But
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. There's something to be said for the truth of being able to do it as possible. But we're not a complicated band. It's drums, bass, guitar, and vocal.
Yeah.
More often than not, we're quite happy with a line check. We don't even need a sound check.
Oh, nice. You're all very organised then.
I wouldn't say that. No. No, it's just that there's less to care about.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very much kind of sort of an in the moment type thing.
Yeah.
It's not like we have sequences or synths to bother about. There's one track off the first album which we haven't played live yet, but it has keys in it. Maybe that'll be something we have to worry about one day. Second album, recorded, mixed, mastered, not out yet, but there's a couple of tracks off of that which we might pick up another guitarist, a keys player, and that'll be something that we have to worry about then. But hopefully by that point, me personally, John, don't have to worry about
it. That's something for the future to worry about.
That's for future me or someone else. Someone else to worry about. Yeah.
Love it. Yeah. So your debut album was out last year, wasn't it? Asleep at the Ejector Seat.
Asleep in the ejector seat.
In the ejector seat. Sorry.
I don't think it makes that much difference. Someone else did that earlier. I was like, does it make much of a difference? I don't think it does. But it was kind of the idea about. Particularly when it comes to relationships, you can be. It's almost like asleep at the wheel, like you are asleep in the ejector seat, and it's two things. Like either you could have the opportunity to punch the button and eject out of the situation and be done with it, but you're asleep, so you don't, or you're asleep at the ejector seat and someone else can punch the button and you have no agency over your exit from the situation, basically.
Okay.
Either way.
I like that. I also liked the cover of the album. The very naked man with a camera over his modesty.
It's very much not a man.
Was it
not? No. Very good friend of mine, Cami Garcia. She is an absolute fucking legend, and
I thought it was a very good picture.
I took that photo, and she's an absolute diamond for letting me take it.
I thought it was just so eye-catching that if someone was just walking past your record in a record shop, they'd be like, "Hold up, what is this?"
It's something that makes people pick up the record, which I kind of wanted, and a lot of people didn't like the album cover because they thought it was too kind of sort of attention grabby.
Right.
But I stand by it, and thematically, I think it works for the tracks on the reverse of the record. If you've got a copy on vinyl.
No, I just had downloads of it.
I'll get you a copy of the record before we're done today. The reverse of it is like a crazy murder detectives board. So it's a cork board with Polaroids, and instead of it being track 1, track 2, track 3, track 4, it goes from track 1 with red string to the next track, with red string to the next track, with red string to the next track, It felt right. Like thematically, it just kind of worked.
I can't wait to see that. That sounds really good.
I look forward to putting it in your hands.
Yeah. So you've worked on your new album, and it's all ready. Do we know when we're going to get it?
No.
No. Okay. And anything you can tell me about it?
It's odd because everyone always says, the first album's personal because you've been writing it kind of your entire life. Even if, it's not the first fucking rodeo, as we've all been in other bands. I've been playing with Nico, the bassist, for the last decade. 10, 11 years. And to some extent, like, yeah, those songs are personal. To some extent, they're songs that we wrote because we kind of had a new band and we kind of were like, oh, here's this new sound, like it's a new toy, it's a new canvas, like we can, or it's a new set of paints, like we can write these songs with it. This second album, like Marco and I never really stopped writing. From the second we started writing the first EP in like 2018-19, we literally never stopped writing, and still haven't today. We're currently writing album 3.
Oh wow!
How does it fly?
He'll go away.
He'll go away. I've completely lost my train of thought after that. No, so like the thing is, like, we never stopped writing after album 1, and so some people say that like the first album's more personal. I don't know. Like the second album for me has been deeply personal. There's stuff on there that was kind of sort of prophetic. So at the end of last year, I went through the worst breakup of my adult fucking life. This is the most honest interview you're going to get today. And the album, either in hindsight, but also during the process, and sometimes during the writing, because some of the lyrics I didn't write until literally I had to do the vocal. So I had time to sort of be going through that. And so the second album for me, at least 75% of it I can listen to and relate back to this breakup. So is it an album that's deeply personal? Yes. Is it something that I've managed to, I hope, mask well enough that people can relate to it and it not be too specific to me? I hope so. Is it something that I will ever listen to, me personally, John Dodd, ever again? Probably not.
He's got to perform it on stage.
That's different. And you were sort of saying sort of the difference between like the recording and the live performance. I think the energy that the crowd bring to it, the fact that they want to hear, the fact that they can relate to it, you see it in a new way. The live performance makes it raw in a new way.
Okay, yeah, because like you said, because it can be so relatable, people will feel it quite deeply.
We found that with stuff like 98, the track of one of the singles off the first album. Like it's a really specific song for me about the house that I grew up in, the house that was my parents' house, and the stuff. All of it. You can't have the good stuff in your life without the bad stuff, and it's kind of all the stuff that we went through, and about my daughter, and there's a shot which I for some reason didn't end up using. I know it's because I wanted to use all Polaroids, but there is a shot literally of me and my daughter in the garden of my parents' house, the house that I grew up in, which was the lyric from that track, and at the same time. Is it a love song? Yeah, like it is. Like, but it's not specific enough. It's masked enough. It's poetic enough that people can connect to details. They can write their own story in their head. They can relate to it. It's a beautiful melody, and it's heavy enough that it inspires emotion when played at volume.
Nice. I like that description. That's really, really cool.
Really? I came up with it on the spot.
That's the best thing, isn't it? So what else have you got planned for this year? Other than your secret EP that we will get at some point.
Well, it's the second album, which is currently being shipped in the States to different labels. But we've kind of left a bit of an open calendar in case stuff starts to happen. We're next officially booked at I think Planet Rock Festival in Wales in October or November. But there's a couple of other dates which we're going to pick up between now and then. And other than that, I'm just surrounded by Polaroids and 35mm and artwork and trying to get this to be the fully packaged thing that it deserves to be.
Oh, well, you're doing very well after seeing your set earlier. You've all got such a great like energy together, and you all look like you're very like tight. Like you're all just play perfectly together, and I like that. It's because sometimes you see a band and like one of the bass players or something will be like over that way, and it feels like they're not all connected. If you know what I mean, it's like someone doesn't want to really be there, but you all just look like you were meant to be there all together, and I really liked that.
Well, it took a long time. It took a long time
A lot of different bands.
It took a few different bands. Like I say, Nico and I have been playing together for the last 10, 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
Marco's been in a number of bands. His last project did really well. And Maurizio's just on drums, an absolute monster. I couldn't be in a band with more competent, more real, more rooted people. Like, they are all grade A motherfuckers. Like, there's no pretension there. Like, they are 100% who they look like. Like they're just absolute monsters. I'm an only child, in case you couldn't tell. Like a lot of front people are, but like I never had brothers or sisters, but I consider each and every one to be brothers to me. Nico's son is my godchild.
Oh.
Yeah,
So you're all very close then.
Yeah, it's a family. It's a firm. Hence, it's incorporated.
I love that. That's brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.